everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment in the Breakdown series as we continue through what I consider to be the core group, the fundamental group here in the Canyon. We've done Baseline, we've done Jake the Snake, we've done Venom. Probably should have been done first. We're going to go right now. Our Lady Daphne the Sport. Daphne the Sport, the answer to whenever I'm asked the question, because everybody loves this kind of question, if you could only keep one rig in the whole fleet, which one do you keep? And with a heaping helping of sentimentality drizzled over the top of it, and just absolutely passing her test over there, Daphne the Sport. Why? Why a TRX-4 Sport that has virtually, it's going to get all swirled here. Daphne is, if memory serves, the first crawler kit that I bought. It was very close. It might have been the Capra kit, but I think it was this Sport kit. So it was a renaissance of RC car stuff, because there had been a period of transition. There was a time about, there was a time about 10 years before I got involved in the tiny toy cars that go slow, when it was the Slash era, because we had fallen out of the hobby for about another 12 year period, and we were brought back in by the Slash, which also coincided with the kind of, like, brushless was starting to become more commonplace. LiPo batteries were starting to become affordable. So the Slash brought us in, but the Slash was a Traxxas. Traxxas doesn't sell things like kits. They don't even sell this kit anymore. So what we were doing around these parts was a lot of customization, taking the parts, turning them into other things, building things from scratch, and we loved it. And then, I don't know what happened. The kids got to a certain age, we just kind of fell out of the hobby. And then it was indeed the TRX-4 that brought us back in, the TRX-4 Defender. And then when I discovered that there was a kit, I was transported magically back basically to my childhood, where the only things that existed were kits. And it was an absolute fantastic time building the Sport kit. So that Sport kit, if it wasn't the first one, if the first one was the Axial Capra kit, I don't feel like it could have been, because I probably wouldn't still be here, because working on a Capra is at least in the same neighborhood as a screaming nightmare, and working on a TRX-4 Sport is really, really easy. Traxxas has really refined a lot of things, and I say that standing here next to a TRX-4 Sport, and it definitely still qualifies, but there is that Thesian ship question, right? Because Daphne earns her spot so high on the pantheon, first and foremost up there, because of being so many firsts. If it's not my first kit, it is the one that I remember as my first kit. My first patina paint job that I ever tried to do. This is the first bumper that I ever welded up. It's not great, but I made it, and it is great for picking the rig up by. So many first efforts, I can't remember them all. So my first patina is still one of my all-time favorites, and the patina has now gone like proper. She has been driven enough that the patina has spread throughout. I mean, it's pretty great. I want to say first outrunner system that I fitted to anything. Are any of these parts part of that first outrunner system? This is an AG Innovations Ninja. It may indeed be. That particular unit might be the first AM32 controller that I bought. You want to know how far back Daphne goes in the fleet? Those are Samix high clearance links. I ain't buying no. Those are MIP HD drive shafts. I ain't buying that stuff now. That's crazy. Those drive shafts is expensive. Are those drive shafts worth it? Probably. Have I ever performed any maintenance of any kind on those drive shafts? No. No, I have not. Have I ever broken a rod end or bent a link or anything? No. No, I have not. That is still... Is she on the metal? Yes. I want to say this. I want to say the motor cover. Not the mounting plate. The mounting plate is one of the alloy ones. That cover, that is a Bauhaus skid underneath. This is an STRC servo bracket, the aluminum. This is the STRC bumper mount, flipped upside down and modified so that we can move the bumper up much higher. Up higher and move it in tighter. These are like Benedict Harry shock towers in the front, hot racing front body mount. Those are homebrew rear towers, bed, sliders, the top pieces on the sliders, body mount, this extended tray that goes around the servo that is also the battery tray, and the battery tray is also homebrew. So you see where I'm going, right? I was custom making a lot of stuff. These are Element RTR shocks, but then you take them over to the lathe and you turn all the threads off and you polish the bodies up, and then you put the SE hardware on them, and then you get some cups from Deluxe so you can get a little pop of color in there. And I think they're 1664s. That sounds right. The titanium nitrided shafts. So the shocks are made out of a hybrid of parts. These are the GRC G2 Wilderness full housings. She began initially on standard Traxxas axles, transitioned to the G2 knuckle set, and then these are like $200+ now. Basically unaffordable. I guess we can blame tariff times. Lunsford titanium turnbuckle up front. Lunsford titanium turnbuckle for drag length. That is taken off of something axial. I'm not a fan of crinkle cut panhards, but you got to do what you got to do because the Wilderness moves the mounting point way over from where it is on a stock TRX-4 axle. It probably moves it 16, 17 millimeters to the right. So there is also worthy of pointing out, we don't buy MIP drive shafts. Those are extraordinarily expensive. We don't buy Samix link kits. We're not in the habit of spending $50, $60 on a set of links, though they do fit nicely. We're also not in the habit of buying Traxxas overdrive and underdrive ring and pinion gears at $40 each. Daphne, complete with the Velma bobblehead from... Wait, I was digging through a drawer. Everybody got a junk drawer. We have multiple junk drawers. I have a junk drawer, literally, called the junk drawer. I have one in my desk inside the house. It is a particularly deep drawer. It's probably about that deep. And there was stuff in there. We were finding school IDs from when my kids were in like 2nd and 3rd grade down in the bottom of that thing. We were finding all manners of... We were finding compact discs from the early 1990s. We also found, sealed in the plastic, the Velma bobblehead, Scooby-Doo. I've been saying McDonald's all these years. Made for McDonald's, Chicago, Illinois. 2021 McDonald's. So we have a second one, but we can't, right? That glob of hot glue that holds her feet down, that little piece of wood with a little piece of Kydex on top to put her in the right place, all the marks on her head and face from being banged around the inside of the cockpit for 4 years. A tragedy would have to befall Velma before she was replaced with that one. I thought it was lost to the sands of time. One of my first, that Flash Hobby 50 kg servo has been in there probably since the very beginning. Tires have been changed a number of times, and I was in an active, unfounded pattern of resisting putting tusks on her. Like, she's gone through RC4 Drive Groundhogs, Baja MTZs, Fossils, a number of other Duratrax tires. I'm sure she was on Champs for a while. We could go through a sequence of photographs, if I could even find them, dating back to the earliest days. This is not her first body. She initially began on a full creep body, which was painted black. You know, I'm going to try to go through the photo reel, and I'm going to try to find some of the old-timey photos. The bed is red birch. The bed has an enormous amount of genuine patina as well. Like, you can't, and those are real nails inside. They are decorative. This is data out of one piece. Those are decorative nails. But STRC rear, basically bought all of the STRC aluminum bits because that's not a thing that we do now. There's so much. She's also like an atomic brick. She's like close to 8 pounds. So she exerts an enormous amount of ground pressure and is just on every level sparks joy, because I remember well making all of the little pieces. I've welded up probably getting into the neighborhood of around a dozen bumpers now. I'm not very good at it. I've made so many shock towers, I could not possibly tell you how many shock towers I've made. I have all of the Amazon brands swirling around in my head. The Alomejor, the Femanda, this chassis, which comes in a little box about this big, because the carbon chassis is made out of, each rail is a piece and a spacer and a piece and a spacer and another piece. So it's 5 pieces per side. It's genius because the Traxxas skid is really, really wide to fit that very LCG. This is the thing I try to establish to people. There's a lot of people that have anti-Traxxas sentiment, and for whatever the reasons are. You know, I'm not going to say that their reasons are unfounded. Traxxas as a business is, you know, let's say that they're a little aggressive in protection of IP. They're also a little lazy in things like product development, because what they like to do is release a new model and that thing has clipless on it. Like, oh no, you don't need body clips now. But they make no other changes to the vehicle. So this, to me, is, if not the absolute pinnacle of performance for a TRX-4, this to me is kind of the ultimate expression of a TRX-4. It is, Daphne is fully functional, can do all of the things in first gear, has one of those Amazon all-metal 2-speed gearboxes, and I want to say, is that an EcoPower? An EcoPower 640T. Do I buy EcoPower 640Ts? No. She does have a Rhino S201450 and tusks and Canyon Customs on some just generic deep steelies. They look great. What's her front knuckle weight situation? Who knows? Some manner of Amazon brass. Has she ever broken anything? Because Daphne dates back so far to when I knew even less about driving than I do now. I used to go through a servo horn every other time she went out there. I'd be zinging around in second gear, clip a rock, and just remove all the splines from a servo horn. I don't even know what she's running right now. She's running a stock Traxxas steel non-clamper. We've got, you can see where the Dremel has carved out so that we get full steering throw, both directions. It just, you know, if she performed terribly, I might not have this same level of unadulterated affection. But there's something about it. You know, first patina got me hooked on cab-only bodies. Everything fits together so tight, you can almost pick it up with no body clips. And I mean, if this doesn't spark joy in you, like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So all the little bits, like, the whole is unquestionably worth more than the sum of the parts. She sounds like a TRX-4, real growly. But, I mean, no matter what happens, no matter what the future holds and what the condition of the fleet might be moving into the future, here's the Crawler Canyon party trick. This vehicle is part of the fleet. Every one you've seen so far, if you've watched the breakdowns in order, every one of them is bona fide. Like, and did we do Tusks, Canyon Trails? I believe we did. I believe that's 3 out of 4. Should we just wrap it up and finish out the next should we finish out the first series of breakdowns with just everything with a tusk on it? It's a list. The most used tire in the whole fleet. And a great example of simplicity. This is a 2-channel rig, and it's got a 2-speed. Does it need a 2-speed? No. Would I remove the 2-speed? No. My recommendation is, if you have a Sport and you want to introduce a level of childish glee to it, don't buy the Traxxas kit to add a 2-speed to it. I almost did that because I was like, oh, it's all in one. It's got a servo. It's got everything. Daphne is a constant reminder of youthful indiscretions. Like, it's not that I've bought a bunch of... Here's a great thing about Daphne. There's no laundry list of parts that have been on and replaced and on and replaced and on and replaced. This is maybe her second or third set of wheels. They've always had kind of a retro vibe to them. But, like, they were replaced for cosmetic reasons. Her shocks have been on there 2-3 times. I finally kind of sort of custom made her some shocks, and they basically haven't been maintained in a period of time that I can't even recall. It's not her first body. It's not her first set of chassis rails. Nothing on her, aside from the Velma, is the first that's been on there. It taught me that, you know, God, how much are MIP HD drive shafts now? Like $70? Something like that? 80? You don't need those drive shafts, but they are worth the money. Like, they do not die. We've removed almost all the coating from the front ones, and they keep going. Bauhaus LCG skid. Is it worth the money? I don't know. I've bought a number of them. GRC G2 axles, are they worth the money? Well, they were at the time. They were $100 when I bought them. Like, look at the front end. It has that a nearly the same front approach as looking at a straight axle, but it's got the clearance of a portal. Daphne the Sport is, if not in terms of performance, because it feels like every build is trying to creep closer and closer to a crawler's paradox, in which we make a vehicle so capable that skills become less important. It just point and shoot, point and shoot. It feels like in every effort we're trying to build point and shoot. And when I built Daphne the Sport, I don't think I was trying to build point and shoot. I was trying to build something that was purely joyful to drive. And it really is. And because it is a TRX-4 at its heart, despite having, I'm honestly, I've been looking at her, I've been sitting and I've been thinking, what is there from that Sport kit? And the only thing I think is front universals, rear drive shafts, the gears inside the portal boxes. So in her beats a heart, and the motor mount, the part that bolts the motor mount down. Rod ends, maybe the rod ends, can't guarantee it. Everything else replaced, because we make things into what we want them to be. Daphne some time ago became exact. When I made those shocks and bolted those shocks on, I mean, when your shock towers start to get the full patina on your shock towers, that's an indication to me that you know you got it right. Is it the answer to every question? No. Is it the answer to the question that was being asked at the time? Absolutely. First patina, first carbon fiber chassis, first G2 axles, first outrunner, first. Absolutely great. The one that I have maybe more affection for and attachment to, it's close. Like, I feel the same way. You know, we're going to break out a Tusk. Next time around, just for funsies, we'll do Ratchet next time around. Yeah, we'll do Ratchet. Thank you so much, everybody. If you have any questions at all, if there's an aspect of any build that I'm not covering, please do let me know, and I will make every effort to include them in future installments. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in for the next one. In between now and when we meet again, please want to all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the Canyon. Daphne the Sport. As I see it, all that is good.